Citadel's second episode opens with a flashback in Italy. Nadia is able to contact Bernard and explain what happened. Once she manages to free herself from the water, however, he says he had to start a backstop because he had no other option. Just before collapsing, Nadia stops a nearby automobile for assistance. When Nadia opens her eyes, she is bound to a bed in handcuffs. A man with a rifle is sitting and monitoring her while her wound has been bandaged. She manages to use his revolver to break the handcuffs when she realizes he intends to keep her there and battle him until he falls unconscious. Her neck flashes a bright crimson color, and the phrase "backstop is commencing" is announced. Before she falls asleep, Nadia scrawls the words "Go to Valencia Asha" on her arm in the brief time she has left. She is startled to discover where she is when she wakes up. She departs with the man's car keys and her passport. Abby finds it difficult to accept Kyle is a spy in Wyoming. Kyle says to Abby that his only concern is for their safety. Kyle bids Bernard farewell when he comes and informs him that it is time for them to go. Kyle travels with Bernard to a structure in New York City where, according to Bernard, the case is being decrypted on the top floor. He gained access to the building by hacking Kyle's biometrics. Kyle is led inside the room containing the case by Bernard, who also gives him advice on how to fend off a guard. They depart once Kyle returns carrying the case. The Davick brothers call Ambassador Dahlia at her residence to inform her that Mason Kane is the one who stole the case. They are to bring both to her, she orders. After instructing Kyle to open the case with his wrist, Bernard intends to use the case to look for further active agents. Because Kyle is now a target for Montecore, which Bernard conveniently forgot to mention earlier, they are unable to return to Wyoming. Bernard says Kyle can only go home once Montecore has been defeated. Then, after disclosing what the backstop had done, he instructed him to use the vial in the case bearing his name to recover his memories. The Davick brothers shoot at Bernard and hit him. Before he can do so, Kyle is able to grab the case, hop in another vehicle, and leave as the car comes to a halt at a clearing. Kyle pulls over and searches for the vial, but it's broken and the liquid has leaked. He screams in anger, but the ex-case informs him that there is only one active agent, Nadia Sin, who is based in Valencia, Spain. Kyle leaves a note for Abby outlining what transpired. While traveling to Valencia, he walks into a restaurant and bumps into Nadia, but she has no idea who he is. He brings up Italy, and she pulls him aside. She believes he is referring about the victim of her murder, but instead he fills her in on all of Citadel's details. He moves the ex-case close enough to her wrist as she protests, allowing him to recognize her. The Davick brothers walk into the eatery. One of Davick's soldiers shoots at them as Mason informs Nadia about the vial. He is put out by Nadia using a pan, and as they exit the kitchen, Davick ambushes them. Nadia uses the vial as they are both being beat, with her memories restored. Nadia takes down Davick with ease and tells Mason that she remembers everything, while helping him to stand up. When Davick informs Dahlia about Nadia, she becomes irritated. As she sits down to eat, Bernard is seated across from her. She tells Davick his gift is here.